Yo, what's going on, YouTube friends and family? Hope everybody's doing great because I'm doing great. You already know what time it is. Another episode of the Kenny and Manny show. Without further ado, yo, Manny, how you doing, man? How's it going?
Bro, it's going good, man. A little tired. Went to bed extremely late last night.
I wonder why.
Know, man. Watching the fight, then watching the post-conference and figuring out what the heck just happened, bro. But before we get into any of that crap, man, hey, listen. At the end of the day, it's still another day, another dollar, baby.
We got to get that dollar.
You already know what time it is, man.
Dollar by dollar. Man. Eventually, we get a mill. Eventually, we get $1 million, man.
Yes,
Keeps
sir.
accumulating,
yes,
man. But yeah, man, bro. You know, let's get right to it. Let's talk about these bitch ass dudes, man. Both Tyron Woodley and freaking Jake Paul.
Whoa, man. Man, what's up? Talk to me, bro.
Man.
Hey, man. This is not sponsored by Coke, but it could be.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I expect, you know, and I give it to them. They sold the shit out of the fight. These guys sold the crap out of the fight. It was great. But Tyron Woodley again made the same mistake. He had him in the 4th round. How you figure that? But he just, you know, he wasn't aggressive enough, man. Even DC said it. Daniel Cormier, he said the same exact shit, man. You know what I'm saying? This DC, man. You know, I felt like Tyron Woodley could have won that fight. He just wasn't aggressive enough. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, Jake Paul outboxed him." Man, let me tell you something. Jake Paul is not a boxer. Listen, I give it to him. He's a smart guy. He is very smart marketing, a borderline genius. But he like, you know, and me and Manny was talking about this the other day. He is the Michael Jordan of trolls. It's between him and 6ix9ine. They're neck and neck. These guys are marketing geniuses, but I do not consider himself a real actual boxer. I'm just sorry, man. It is what it is, man. I've been following the sport my whole life. Of course, man, you know about MMA more than me. You get what I'm saying? But boxing, I'm a boxing historian. Jake Paul is not a boxer. Yes, he won. Yeah, whatever. Longer reach, this and that. But listen, man, he's not lit. He's a troll.
All right, man. I mean, definitely. That's. I mean, some good points you hit there. I would say, man, I do give him a little bit more credit than that because even just to understand the mechanics, he is very smart. To your point,
what mechanics? What mechanics?
The mechanics of understanding that a UFC fighter, it's not going to have what it takes to undo all the training that they have.
This is true.
So he understands that the mechanics of a UFC fighter,
correct,
right? It's going to be different, right? Because a UFC fighter is constantly worrying about the takedown. They're defending, you know, crazy overhand shots and angles, right? So because of it, there's certain mechanics that they naturally do, man. Boxers do not do them. You can take a 22-year-old boxer that has been boxing for maybe 10 years since he was 12 years old, and he's going to be a much better competition, in my opinion, than Tyron Woodley because, again, although Tyron has a lot of power, primarily, here's the thing. He's a wrestler.
He's a phenomenal athlete.
Phenomenal athlete, but he's a wrestler first, right? All-American wrestler. Then he developed the striking when he was, back in the day doing his thing. But ultimately, man, it's like the way I see it sometimes. I remember when in one of my jobs before that I was kind of timid when I first got into, in my career and stuff like that. I was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm just new. And my supervisor would tell me, hey, don't worry. We actually prefer new people over somebody that has experience because then we have to untrain or, other bad habits.
So they could give them less money. That's what it is. That's the real reason. That's what they prefer.
So with that said, same concept applies here, man. You have Tyron Woodley that is a phenomenal fighter in a street fight. He'll kill this man. No question. But when you have a guy like this that has already, 3 years in training and stuff like that, his stamina is still not there, but he understands the mechanics that Tyron will not be able to keep up. Worst case scenario, if he cannot knock him out, at the very least, he can outclass him and just score the points. MMA is totally different.
That's what boxing is about, to be honest. It's about points.
Like you can knock right?
You can knock your opponent out. You can knock him out, but ultimately it's about points. If he lands more jabs, more crosses, he will still win the fight.
Exactly. Points. Whereas in MMA is about control, right? Keep on moving forward. Is about takedowns, right? Signature or significant strikes, like power strikes and stuff like that. So some of it does overlap, but a lot of it is different as well. So I mean, the moment I saw that Tyron was just not letting his hand go, I was like, okay, this dude is gonna win by points. But then obviously the fourth round, he came in. I thought he was gonna have him, but again, typical as of late for Tyron, Woodley, typical stuff, man. He gets timid and he shies away from letting his hand go. He didn't want to get overzealous because that's happened to him in the Gilbert Burns fight. You guys feel free to look that up. I'm sorry, not Gilbert Burns. I can't remember. It was another Brazilian. It was a Gilbert Burns teammate. Okay. Same thing. He started to let his hand go, and Tyron got clipped. So really quick, bro. I mean, you can see here in Jake Paul's tweet, he says, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't."
Yeah.
Clearly,
but everyone's so obsessed with the numbers, man.
Yeah, I think
shit with LeBron and Michael Jordan.
From a numbers perspective, I would say he definitely beat him. I mean, I think at best it could have been a draw, but I mean that would have been a far stretch. I don't think it was that close of a fight. I think numbers wise, he got him, man. But I mean, it is what it is, man.
I mean, that's what boxing is. I mean, that's what boxing is strategy at the end of the day.
Yeah, man.
I find him. I personally find him a shitty boxer. It is what it is. But he's a smart guy. He knows how to market himself, and he knows how to play the game. Generally speaking,
yeah,
he knows how to get underneath your skin. He knows how to get underneath your skin, and he's. I give it to him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like not to ride him or anything like that. Pause. He's a genius, bro. Borderline when it comes to marketing, man.
Trolling, man. Trolling is A1 for him, man.
He does a phenomenal job.
Talking about strategizing and ingeniousness and all that good stuff. Where does Jake Paul go from here, bro? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Go back to Disney. No, I'm joking.
Shit, he might have to at this point.
no,
this
actually,
is what's up next, right here. That's next.
Okay, what's up? Where are we going with this?
But go ahead, and then we'll touch.
I personally feel. I mean, I really feel like he's a smart dude because I mean, I see him like getting into trust funds. I know he has investments. He's smarter than what people think. I mean, clearly, what you see, this is just a facade, right? Remember, people need to ultimately understand he came from Disney. What does that mean? He's an actor. He knows how to portray a certain image. But he's good, man. He knows what he's doing. I'm sure he has a lot of money. He has backup. He got it. He got it, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, definitely. He's a great man. He knows how to market himself very well. Which is why I'm curious to see where it goes from here. There's a couple of announcements, but before we get to that, here it is, man. Here it is. What you guys see here is nothing really much, but what's happening here is Tommy Fury. Some of you guys
future in boxing. He's only 22 years old. He's only
may not know who it is. He is the brother of Tyson Fury, which
half
is
brother.
Same difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother of Tyson Fury, which is obviously the heavyweight champion of the world.
6'9" heavyweight beast.
Yeah, so obviously, man, the apple does not fall from the tree. This guy's, he's a physical specimen. He definitely quick, man, fast. This dude is definitely going to be a challenge for Jake Paul if he were to take the fight. I don't think he does it, man. What is your take?
Challenge? He's a professional boxer. Do you not see? You already said it. I mean, his background, Tyson Fury. He's been doing this ish since he was a baby. Okay, he recently became pro, but this is something he's been training. This was a lifestyle. Just remember, Tyson Fury, his father named him after Mike Tyson. So that alone should tell you how seriously these guys take the sport of boxing.
Yes,
so therefore, I mean, Jake Paul knows, man. Jake Paul's smart. He knows how to pick his fights. He clearly looks at the height differences, the attributes. He knows what he's doing. Listen, if Tommy Fury was to fight Jake Paul, right, we already know who's going to win. Okay, no disrespect to Nate Robinson, no disrespect to Ben Affleck, Ben Asperger, it is whatever his name is.
Forget them dudes, man. Them dudes had no shot, man. That was just the
That's
money
what I'm
grab.
saying.
Ben
That was just a
Askren
money
did
grab.
not have a chance. Nate Robinson, come on, these guys, man. These guys are not elite anything in terms of boxing or contact.
In a boxing standpoint, right?
Yeah. Ben wrestling, different story. Nate Robinson dunking contest in basketball, different story.
Different story.
But
everyone has their niche.
Exactly, man. Coming back to Tommy, so that's
ass.
rightfully that's the next move. But again, we said it. Jake is the greatest troll. He's a smart
Modern
man.
day troll. Oh,
so
very
what
smart.
does he do,
I don't
man?
take
So
anything from
what
him.
does he do?
What does he do? I think I know. We could learn a couple things from him.
Yes, man. So what does he do? Where is it? Let's find it. Let's find it. Updated status. Retired boxer. Here we go. Genius, bro. Genius. The man
He took the bag. He said, "Whoop, boy,
took
gang."
the bag and ran, bro.
That ain't boy gang. If that's not,
I don't know what is. Bro, think about it. Man. This man is 4-0. His last fight, he faced some adversity.
Correct.
And it was against, a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time in the welterweight class in the UFC, and Tyron Woodley, right? So, I mean, it's the perfect Cinderella story to call it quits now while he's ahead rather than facing an actual boxer because he does not have the stamina. He will not be able to. Maybe the first round he can do okay, but he's not going to see
he's not a boxer, bro.
The fourth. Yeah, he's just not going to do it, man. I give him credit, man. I think he can make the transition, but ultimately he'll just be an amateur type of guy. I don't think he'll be able to stay undefeated by no means. And that whole thing about facing Canelo, you can forget about that. That's a joke.
He said Canelo. Canelo? We're talking about a guy that's been fighting his whole life that has over 100 amateur fights. He has what? One loss? One professional fight that he lost
to Mayweather.
Was against Mayweather.
Yeah, when he was young. Yeah. I don't think they would even allow that fight to happen. I don't think it would even happen.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
From a legal standpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Of course, for those of you that do not know, yesterday, Tyron was definitely very hyper and excited. He wanted to run it right back. He felt that it was a close. In fact, he thinks he won. I don't think so. I think it's closer than when people give it. But yeah, he wants to run it back. He lost, and like Logan said, you're old news, fam. That's what Logan said to him.
You had your chance of fourth round, buddy. You could have literally won that fight. You had him.
Exactly. He didn't put him away, so that was his loss. Now he was
going like this. He was like this. He had him stunned. He was like this.
Yeah. He was just man. It was crazy.
He's feeding off the crowd. Yo, just go and fucking finish it off, man.
He didn't let it go, man. But now Jake, of course, doesn't probably want to fight him again because
Jake let it go. Jake is letting it go.
Letting it go, yeah. But check this out. If he does want to, so here's the requirements. So Jake, for those of you that do not know, Jake went ahead and put a pretty much like, some rules in order for him to consider the rematch. And that was the tattoo that they were talking about before, the I love, Jake Paul. So it must be 3 by 2 inches at least, cannot get covered. It has to be permanent. I don't know how they will, how that would even play out. Most posts on social media, and it has to be visible with shorts and a shirt on. As far as how would you know if it's permanent? Because once he gets paid and he fights and he wins or he loses, he can just get it laser removed. So I'm guessing by permanent he means that it can't be like a fake one. I'm thinking that's what he means by that.
He might be trolling. He might come back for boxing. You never know. You never know.
I personally think that he retires at this point, unless he can find. Man, he's good. That's the way I see it, man.
Everyone's gunning for him. Even Nate Diaz wants to fight him.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to the Diaz brothers. Man.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. But yeah, bro, I don't see any other way that that plays out other than him retiring, bro. And again,
he got the bag. I mean, he ran laps on the UFC. He ran laps in the boxing world. I mean, he ran laps. I mean, He reminds me of 6ix9ine to a certain degree, right? 6ix9ine did the
man.
same thing. He was having gangsters all getting all personal. Like to this day, he's still doing the same thing. A lot of people don't realize that 6ix9ine is just a troll by nature. He's done it so much. It's been part of his actual identity. Like he just can't stop. Like for him to reprogram himself and do it, it's gonna be nearly impossible. And it's the same thing we're seeing with Jake Paul. Like Jake Paul, who knows? He might come back. He might not come back. He's about the bag at the end of the day. So he's acquired a good amount of money for boxing. He's got a big fat check. They promoted the shit out of this fight, right? So for Showtime to be the platform, you already know Jake is definitely walking with quite a. Do you have that specific number? Millions of dollars. I know for a fact he's walking out with some bread, bro. And he's definitely going to flip that, man. He's good. Jake Paul, he's doing good, man. He's 24 years old, very smart. Like I said,
in Puerto Rico, in a mansion out there, huge home. He lives like one of the most expensive parts.
You want to hear something? I heard about that. I didn't even know he was living in Puerto Rico, bro. That's insane. That's awesome.
Jake and
shout out to them. That's so great. That's something I might.
Part. Beautiful.
Might do the same thing in the future. Puerto Rico is gorgeous.
It is, man. It is. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for the recap. For this Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. Again, if it's content like this that you guys would like to see in the future, please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and click that notification bell. I got nothing else for them, bro. But on that note, I'm ready to call it, brother.
I'm ready to call it. I'll never buy another pay-per-view from those guys again. They're not catching me slipping with that one.
No, sir. Wow.